So I went to go see a friend today. I had a day off from work because of weather, which turned out to be a nice day, so it was kind of a waste of a day off, whatever. But I went to the guy I get all my parts for my old John Deere garden tractors, and I got a carburetor, pulled it right off of a low hour 14 horse off of a 214. It's been sitting for a long time, so the throttle shaft is stuck at the moment, but I'm not worried. It's a Carter Model N. It's not a Walbro. I'll get it fixed. Be a good carb. I have to change the choke shaft here. It's a little bit different on the 140s, but not a big deal. I've got my governor arm, everything. So we're good to go. The rest of this stuff's in the wagon. Let's go see. So here we are at the 73 140, and in my last video I was complaining about its dry crack tires. These ones here are really, really bad. But I picked up some more tires. They're vintage, but they're very high quality tires, and there really isn't anything wrong with them. And they're already on painted rims. These are Goodyears, made in USA. These are Carlisle's, made in USA. These are actually snowblower tires, so I was kind of thinking that these would steer awesome in the snow. He has all kinds of tires on rims. He just happened to have these sitting on a shelf, and I'm like, what do you get for these? He's like, 20 bucks. I'm like, I'll take them. So I walked out with these. They got water in them, or something's in them, some kind of liquid. So I gotta drain it out and tube them. But they got a lot of tread on them, so that'd be good. These look like very good tires. Very, very, very minimal dry cracking, so these will last me a long time. They have a lot of tread. So these are good tires, and they're 1050s. So they're wider than those. So I don't really need the tires set in the wide position anymore. As these are. You'll also notice I got this. This is the blank plate that goes over your top link hole here if you don't have a 3-point hitch. It hides my light now, so you really can't see it, which I like. The light still comes down and lights up down here, and the taillights, it makes them more visible. It's not blinding them out. And this just clips in with clips, like that guy there, and that guy there, and then it just kind of pops out like that. See? And the other purpose for this is if you had a PTO right here where this light is for running tillers, they would bolt into this holes. This is the guard to protect your hand from getting eaten up. So this little generator here that I've had since my last video on it, it's the Kohler 141 with a 2500 watt gen head on it. No flywheel, no starter. Well, it's missing parts of the starter, I should say. And what else is missing off this guy? Magneto. It's missing the magneto coil. So, how do I fix this without spending a whole lot more than I spent on the generator? See, it's going to cost me probably at least 20 bucks for a flywheel, minus shipping. Magneto's probably going to be another 20-something dollars, at least, maybe more. And the parts for the starter are going to cost me another $15–20, just for the parts I need, not the whole starter. And that's just to get this engine running. Then it needs a muffler. Well, I've got all that covered too. I don't have an air filter for it yet, but I'm sure I can find something that'll work for it. So yeah, I'll show you my solution to that. Yep, the guy that I get my John Deere parts from just happened to have a K141 sitting in his shed. And apparently it's been sitting there for a long time. It's got a shroud that I'm missing. It's got a different starter on it. I'm not sure who made this recoil starter, but it works. Actually, this is a really good sounding engine. It's got a lot of compression. It's got a magneto on it, obviously. Carburetor's missing. Governor seems to do something. Points are there. Seems like a good engine to me. Wouldn't you take that for 25 bucks? I wasn't going to turn it down. Cheaper than me trying to piece out all the individual parts. And then, once I get that generator running, if I find that that engine's worn out, all I got to do is swap the generator crankshaft out of the other engine into this engine and put this block on the generator. Boom, done. That project's done. So my really dirty gas tank for this that delivers mud-colored gasoline. Look at that, it's like brown. It's seriously brown. That's the color right there, look at that. Isn't that disgusting? That's what's coming out of this tank here after it was cleaned out before I got it. So, I got this gas tank for it today. Now this gas tank is off of a 120, which is kind of a rare tractor. And this gas tank looks like it had a nice gauge on it. I don't know if you can see in there, we'll go in here. It is spotless inside. It is bright, it is shiny. Look at that. It's a good tank. Only one problem. That's the solder. I gotta resolder all the seams. The 120 this came off of was in a garage fire. And it was a low hour tractor that was in really nice shape. And apparently the guy was pretty upset about it. I know I would be. But the tractor was a total loss because it was so far burnt. But yet, to this day, it is donating good parts to other tractors, like this one. So that's awesome. Can't get over how nice these tires are. Look at the tread on these things. This would be great. This is a, I think this is a, I don't know if it's an original or a reproduction, because this is an original right here. This is an original 110 muffler. See how it's rounded, and this one here is kind of rolled over? Well anyways, this is a Nelson. This might have been from later 110s. Round fenders, of course. So a 110 muffler, or a 112. And this is a Nelson. I'm going to use it on my Kohler generator. It was cheap, it's used, just painted up, that's all. So, yeah, I'm going to throw that on the Kohler generator. That'll keep it nice and quiet, and I can give the muffler that's on it back to the Fairbanks Morse. So, that's done. John Deere had some nice mufflers on their machines, thanks to Nelson. Okay, now for the next problem we have here. I didn't get this fixed yet. This battery is way too big for this battery tray, so it doesn't really fit in here, and I don't have battery hold downs for it, but whatever, we'll fix that eventually. I gotta get a hose to the spill tray. I'll get that fixed eventually, but I didn't realize it. Talking to my John Deere parts guy there, he says he used to be an expert on these tractors, and this is all he does. He'll buy them and part them out and collect some. He says that these hood hinges on these later 120s and 140s, 110s and 112s, the late ones, he says that they're kind of a design flaw because they wear out. And then you've got a 1/4 inch of slop like this. This is horrible. So this hood just shakes around. Speaking of shakes around, he says that engines with balance gears that have wear on them tend to shake more than engines that don't have the balance gears in them at all. Which would explain why this tractor shakes worse than my other 140, which has no balance gears. So that's solved. We know why. He says that it's more of a myth that the balance gears fly apart and destroy engines. He says it has happened, but they're actually built pretty good, and it's pretty unlikely that they're going to come flying off, so it's not anything to really worry about. Although if I ever have this engine open, I'll probably just take them out. So that's cured. So what am I going to do about these hood hinges? If I replace them, they're just eventually going to wear out again. So that's why I got these. This is the older style hood support. It's the piece that goes right here, and it has the older style hood hinges. These guys off of it. This is off of a 68 140, I believe, or 69 140. These will be much nicer. Here's where the wires go for the headlight. This is it right here. So I can use the older style grills, but since I bought this one, I'm just going to keep using this grill. Got a new carburetor that's going to go in this. Well, it'll be rebuilt. He calls these Walbros disposable carburetors because once they stop working, that's about it. You throw them out and you buy another one for 200 bucks. So that's done. So this project is going along very well. I'm very pleased with it. But he has another 140 there that he kind of was trying to get me to buy. I don't know. I want it, but I don't have room for it. It is a 68. Ed's garage claims to have a 68, but I think his is a 69 or 70. The 68 H3 that he's trying to get me to buy, what it is it's an H1. But to make it an H3, your H1 hydraulic valve will be down in here under this part of the dash. It has that. But then it has two more valves that are up here, completely separate from the valve that's down here under the dash. And that's these two levers right here. Now the hoses that are coming out of that valve, you'll see them. They come out and then down and then run along the side of the engine to the front. Completely exposed. You can see them. They're in front of this flywheel screen. It's got one brake pedal. And the one brake pedal works both rear brakes instead of just the one brake like on my 72 140. Another distinguishing feature, it has a 12 horse kohler instead of a 14. And this lever right here, you see how this quadrant thing here comes out and won't let you pull this lever out? It doesn't have that. What it's got is it's got a black piece of plastic that looks kind of like that. This part is gone. So all you got is that black piece of plastic. It's not metal. It's got the solid dish wheels. There is no spokes or anything in the wheel. But the thing that's really keeping me from buying it is it's in many, many pieces right now. He claims it's complete, but this is a complete tractor. It's together. It runs. It drives. That one needs to be put together, and it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of work. Otherwise, I'd do it. So that's all I got for now. I'm going to work on my hood hinges now. I'm putting them on tonight.